Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Good morning, Gifted Crafters. Happy Monday and welcome to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. It is Monday. Yes, time to kind of stretch it off and kind of get back into that little day-to-day running gear that you do. I know everyone has their own little schedules. And I'm glad you're making it me part of your schedule. So I'm really excited about that. Thank you all for tuning in. So if you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Nancy and I'm your host today. So just go ahead and grab your favorite little drink. Mine is just a little café con leche in the morning. I have to have my, little coffee with my milk. Just to kind of get me going. I don't know what you guys are drinking, but let me know because I really want to know. I have coffee. Sometimes I do tea. Sometimes it's just water, depending on the day. But it's been a pretty stormy weekend. I don't know if you caught me on Saturday. I did a Saturday crafternoon, and as soon as we got off, literally, we lost power. So I kind of put that in our Facebook. We just made it, but it was pretty stormy over here. And then it was just lots of rain and flooding and things like that. So it was kind of a wet weekend over here, and I think we're going to get some more rain today. So I hope you guys are a little bit drier than we are, or at least that you're having some better weather. I know some areas had some storms and some tornadoes. I mean, it's been a kind of a rough weekend, I think. But I'm ready to start the day and ready to start a brand new week and get going. So I hope you guys are too. So, let's go ahead and just grab our favorite little drink, get in your little cozy corner, and let's just kind of start our day together, if that's okay with you. I see people tuning in from all over the place. Hey, we have someone from Australia. Wow, Roz, thanks for joining. Absolutely amazing. See Pennsylvania and all kinds of areas. Wow. Okay, awesome. Well, this is great. Thank you, guys. Yeah, green tea for you. Hey, Kathy, that's awesome. Hey, Marge, you live in Miami. Hey, neighbor, you fell in love with café con leche. Yeah, well, down here in Miami, we have tons of things. There's all kinds of stuff for coffee and little pastries, and you can really just kind of bring that in and just, have that all day long. So we've got tons of pastries that we like to eat down here. But, if I eat all of those, that's all I'll eat all day long. So you can't have that, right? So let's just go ahead and, grab your coffee because you know what? I think we've got a little issue going on, but we're going to try to roll out our food truck here. If we can get that out. Yep, here it is. It's been acting up today. I don't know what's going on with that food truck, but it didn't want to kind of rev up the engine this morning. But go ahead and make the line and let's just, go grab some snacks and things. We've got all kinds of stuff like coffee and pastries and tea, all kinds of goodies. So you guys, get on the line here and grab your goodies and get yourself all settled in, because we're going to spend this hour together and we're going to have a great time. Okay. So what do I have lined up for you? Let's see. I've got a couple things that I just want to get out. So just a few announcements. We are introducing something a little bit new for you guys. Yeah, I told you we'd be changing things up all the time. So we're going to have a birthday shout out and announcements. And I want to make this platform a little bit open to everyone. So I know that a lot of you may have little businesses, maybe Etsy shops, maybe you're doing some craft shows, maybe you have some announcements of your own, and maybe you have a birthday, you know, that you want to shout out to everyone. This is the perfect opportunity for you guys to do that. So we're gonna have, it's a little link that we have below. If you'd like us to give you a birthday shout out, please go ahead and fill out the form, or if you have any information, you know, that you want us to share, there's a link below. Fill out the little form. It's in the description, and then just go ahead and send that to us. Now, I do ask you to do it 7 days in advance just so we can get everything coordinated, and we'll try to do the best we can. We want to keep it, of course, PG friendly, guys, and we will try to give you guys a shout out, because I want to help you guys out too. I know there's tons of people out there that have little small businesses. Maybe you're doing a craft show and they want to kind of, you know, let everybody know that they're out there, because maybe somebody in their area will be able to come and check them out, and they may be looking for something that you're offering also. So I hope that you guys enjoy that, and just kind of want to make this, you know, just a platform where you guys feel like you can bring stuff to the table as well. And if there's any announcements or any news articles or something that you just want me to even look into, you can also just email me, or just go ahead and fill out the form and let me know, because I would really, really love to know that. Yes, B. Bridgman, thanks. It's a shout out opportunity. Exactly. I think it would be wonderful for you guys. You know, you guys got things going on, you know, that I may not know about, and maybe a lot of people are interested in. So, you know, just let me know about it so we can share it with everyone, and then we can just kind of get everyone aware about those opportunities that are out there, because there's tons of stuff going on all the time, all over the place. So you just definitely want that to happen. So good morning, good morning. Yes, hey Jenny, I see John, thanks, good morning. Okay, so let's get going here. I'm gonna have another sip here. Yeah, it's really good today, because when it's rainy outside, it's like I really need that coffee to get me going. I don't know about you guys. Okay, so what did I have next? Okay, so we've done the birthday shout outs. So the next thing that I want to kind of bring over is our crafting news. So let's get that segment going, because there's always some stuff going on, right? So let's go to that segment. And today I want to let you know about a couple things going on. So if you're in Boise, Idaho, or maybe in that area, you can get ready for a really neat crafting expedition. They've got the Quilt, Craft, and Sewing Festival. That's rolling into town starting Thursday, May the 8th till Saturday, May the 10th. And this is at the Center Expo Hall in Expo, Idaho. And it's completely free to attend, which is absolutely amazing. You can, they even are not even charging for parking. So it's free for the event, and it's free parking as well. It's a colorful event. It's got inspirational quilt displays. They're going to have top-notch vendors, handmade. They have make and take workshops that you can craft your own treasures, and you can join some free classes and live demos. And let's see, what else are they going to have? They're going to have daily door prizes. So you just might even go home being a winner. So that's pretty neat. That's a pretty cool event if you're in that area. Okay. And also we've got, the 2025 Great Wisconsin Quilt Show. That's in Madison, Wisconsin. And they are now accepting entries for their quilt contest. So quilters can submit up to 4 different creations. They're going to be judged across 10 different categories, and there's some cash prizes involved, people. Ooh, okay. And they are going to be awarding the top winners and have a special viewer's choice that's picked by the attendees. So that's pretty cool. They even have a kids quilt challenge for young crafters ages 15 and under, and they're going to have a themed hexagon challenge celebrating the classic shape. That's pretty cool. So the deadline to enter this is June the 30th, so don't wait, get yourself going. And the show will take place on September the 4th to the 6th at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison, Wisconsin. They're also going to have all kinds of things like workshops, expert-led classes, quilt shopping, and they're going to have a heartfelt quilt to give service project. So you can get more information on this if you go to their website. It's quiltshow.com/quilt-contest for all the details on that contest stuff. So mark your calendars if you're in the area for that. We also have one last one. This is the probably more well-known one. I think a lot of people know about this one. It's the H&H Americas. It's one of the biggest fiber arts and trade shows that they have out there. That is coming to Rosemont, Illinois, and it's at the Donald E. Stevens Convention and Conference Center. And this show kicks off on Monday, May the 5th for industry insiders. So you've got to own a business there. It will then open up to the public on Wednesday, May the 7th, and that will continue until Friday, May the 9th. And this, again, it's an all-inclusive event. It's perfect for anybody that's into like knitting, crocheting, sewing, quilting, and any of those fiber art related crafts. The attendees can take classes, you can go shopping, you can look for new products. The idea is to kind of bring out all their new products here, hear the speakers and things like that. You get to mingle with all the top suppliers that are out there and some fellow makers. So if you have a small business, you know, this is pretty good to kind of see what the upcoming trends are and to kind of meet the vendors and see what you can figure out what's best for you. The general admission for this is $69 in advance. But if you are paying at the door, it's $115. So it's kind of much better if you get it in advance. But if you are a part of the Craft Industry Alliance, you get in for free. Those members get in for free for that event. And if you want more information on that one, go to their website, hh-americas.com for ticket and details. Okay, so those were the crafting news that I have for you guys. Okay, excuse me, I need to grab another sip here. I hope that these news events are really helpful for you guys to find what's going on in your areas. I kind of just look and pick a couple of things out there to see, you know, what you guys would be interested in. So I hope that is really helpful for you. Okay. So, got something stuck in my throat this morning. So, I think, wow, I just can't get it out, can I? I think what we're going to do is I want to kind of recap, because on Friday, I kept saying, when we met on Friday, I kept saying tomorrow, and then I was forgetting it was Friday. We did have our Saturday Crafternoon show, which I normally do weekly, and that's kind of a little bit different than this morning show. But we kept mentioning that I was going to show you something the next day. So I'm going to go ahead and show it to you now, because now is Monday. So we talked about a balloon quilt that someone mentioned it. And we were talking about Mylar embroidery, and I wanted to kind of show that to you. Oh, Annette says, love seeing all my crafty friends in the morning. It truly makes my day. Awesome. I know. It does, Annette. It really does. You know, I guess we're just little creatures of habit, and we like to kind of socialize in the morning. So I like it too. So I have a quilt that I kind of mentioned, and we were talking about mylar embroidery, and I was mentioning that I had it from a while ago and I needed to find it and pull it up and I would share it with you guys. So I did find it here, and let me just line this up. It's kind of big, not too big, but it's a quilt that I put together. It's made out of, it's embroidery. Now I did this, I have the Brother SE 1900. So this was done with a 5x7 hoop. That's the biggest hoop size. You have a repositional hoop. It's a 5x12 hoop that you can also use on the machine. That'll give you a little bit bigger of the design. So definitely, you know, these are one of the projects that if you have a smaller machine that doesn't have one of those big hoops, like, you know, a multi-needle machine, or even, you know, one of the more expensive ones that have the larger hoops, you know, we get hoop envy on our end here, because us with our little small machines, we get hoop envy and we want to make those big ones that you guys get to do. But here's one that actually I really enjoyed making, and it's pretty neat, and it kind of gives you more ideas on what you can do with the smaller hoops. I did get an email and I forgot to print it out. I'll let you guys know tomorrow. I'll print it out for you. Someone was mentioning that they have a machine with a smaller hoop, and that, you know, they were happy to see some projects that are done that are in that smaller hoop. So I really want to share this with you guys. So let me open this up here, just so you can see. Wait, my little card's gonna go flying. Let me move that over. Okay. Yes, you have hoop envy, Robin. Yes, I do all the time. I get hoop envy. Okay, so this is a quilt that I made with that 5x7 hoop, and in this quilt, it's kind of big, so I'll show it to you guys in pieces. So first off, this is a design by Pearly Gates. Is the owner of the design, and you can go to their website and you can purchase this from them. I believe they still have this one. They do a lot of mylar embroidery, and so I was able to kind of use their embroidery, and they give you all kinds of different packages. It's a little pricey, but for what you get, I think it's pretty good. In the package itself, they gave you different sayings that you can have. I decided to use this one that said, "Life is a beautiful ride." I thought that was beautiful. And it is mylar embroidery, so I'm not sure if you guys can see the little sparkle on these balloons, but really amazing. I mean, it is really gorgeous. Let me lift it up here a little bit, and I'm going to hide behind it for a second. See if you guys could see that. So I'm not sure if you can see the sparkle, but here's the end of it here. And what's really nice is that they give you a border that you can use. They give you a bottom border, a top border, and they also give you the side borders here. So you can see the side ones as well. I think that one's pretty neat because you are able to do nice designs with them. I decided to just do one here like this, and I kind of left this open here, and then I did kind of centered the bottom here. And so I have all kinds of different balloons that you can pick from. There's more. These are just the ones that I decided to use. And I see if I can move this. Whoops, going the wrong way. There we go. So you can see here, I've got some balloons, and they've got some really gorgeous colors. Of course, you can change the thread color, but this is just with regular thread and then the mylar embroidery on top, and it really makes it sparkle on here. I don't think the camera really... Let's see, did I do any quilting on the blue sky fabric? No, I did not, Cindy. And this is the same blue fabric, the blue sky fabric that I was talking about using for the farm quilt. This is the same exact fabric for that. And this was the reason why I bought that fabric, was because at the time I was looking to make this quilt. And so I wanted the balloons to kind of demonstrate and see that they were floating in the sky. So this is where, let me just kind of move that here. Let me see if you could see the balloons a little bit. I'm going to fold it over and then hold it up closer. Let's see. Can you guys see that sparkling? I think it's really, really neat. Especially this yellow one here, the yellow and green. It really sparkles. Where did I find that? So this is from Pearly Gates. If you go to their website, they've got tons of embroidery designs. This is just one of the ones that I really loved. It's just quite old because I did this about a year ago, I guess. And I bought a lot of this cloud fabric specifically for this type of quilt because I did want to make a number of these balloon quilts, and I wanted to really show that they were up in the sky. So I really searched hard for that type of background. And so when I found it, I was really excited that, you know, I could use the fabric versus me kind of creating the clouds and creating that sky. So I thought it was pretty neat. So I did do that. I used that fabric. Then I went ahead and then all I did was float the quilt. I went ahead, I floated it on. I did not hoop the fabric on. I just floated it on top. And then out the balloons shimmer when I move it. Okay, thanks, Cindy. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was going to come out on camera or not, but it's really nice when you see it up close. You know, you can really see the sparkle on here. But you know, I went ahead and did that, and I just kind of hooped them one by one. And I didn't want to make it very symmetrical. I tried to kind of put it off a little bit because I really wanted to look a little realistic. You know, I didn't want it to line up perfectly. I wanted to kind of, you know, adjust it. Yeah, that's great for baby shower gifts. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And they've got all kinds of different sayings. It's not just the one, life is a beautiful ride. They have a bunch of other sayings as well that are really neat. And you can just, you know, pick the saying that you like and pick the balloon that you like. And you can do so many things with this. This was just kind of like little quilt wall hanging that I wanted to kind of put. And then in the back, I just used a really nice blue to kind of complement it, just a little bit darker, and made that here. So that was like my backing and my border, and I just kind of put the whole thing together, and that was it. I did make another one of these, but I tend to gift them out, so I don't keep them. I did make it for a friend of mine that retired, and I thought it was just perfect for her, so I went ahead and made one for her with some balloons and stuff. It turned out pretty nice as well. And I wasn't sure about the black border to go with this, but I really enjoyed how when I stitched out the side borders, I just loved how the white thread really popped on the black fabric. And I thought, you know what, I am gonna leave it in there. I thought it just complemented it. I really liked the way it came out, so I went ahead and I left that there. I probably could have used a lighter border, but I just really enjoyed how the thread popped, so I kind of left that. And I thought that was really neat. Did you quilt a background and then embroider the balloons? No, the background is just the fabric itself, the clouds. I could have quilted and done some background quilting, but I decided to just kind of leave it the way it was. All I did was take the fabric and then float all of these. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hoopings all together on here. And then you have to, of course, do the borders. And so when you're doing the borders, all I did here, you can use, if you have a machine that just has a 5x7 hoop, the way I was able to do this all the way down was I kind of just did one section at a time and then just kind of lined them up and see how they're kind of spaced. So I just made markings on here to make sure that it was spaced evenly throughout the border here. So it kind of makes it look like it just, you know, embroidered this whole thing, but I only have a 5x7 hoop. So this was just me lining it up. You know, I used probably some pens or chalk and just kind of, you know, adjusted to make sure that it was gonna come out nice and evenly in between. So that's how I did the border here. So that's kind of how I did that. And then I went ahead and, you know, got my backing and just did the binding with the blue to the front. So that was basically it. That was my little quilt here. And this was the one we were talking about, using this background cloud fabric. So I think it's pretty neat when you find the right fabric or background fabric that you need for the quilt that you're making. But yeah, if you don't, or if you can't find it, you can always, you know, quilt it or make your own clouds, right? You can do applique as well. That would be fun. So, you know, this kind of goes with what we were talking about last week on the little farm quilt. If you don't remember that one, let me see if I still have it here. Let me try to pull that for you. Yeah, this was the farm quilt that we were talking about. And so it has a little bit of that sky here. Now this sky is made with the applique. They do give you the clouds to be able to make that. So if you get different strips of blue fabric, the idea is to have the different strips and then put in the clouds. Yeah, can you imagine using metallic threads on it too? Yes. Yes, that would be beautiful, right? But the Mylar, I think, really brings out that shimmer. I think it makes it look like metallic thread, but it is not. Marge is asking, do I have the dime hoop that makes it easier to rehoop? Amazing what you did with this 5x7. I do not have the dime hoop. I'm kind of limited on my embroidery supplies. What I have is just the regular hoops that came with the machine. I did buy one magnetic hoop and I got it off of Amazon that I'm able to use with my machine. And I bought that only to be able to do the background quilting, the edge to edge, just so that I can kind of move the fabric along and just kind of makes it easier to kind of instead of rehooping the whole thing. So I did get that, but I mean, this is my little baby back here, and I'm kind of limited on what I can do, but I'm really happy with, you know, the things that I'm able to kind of come up with, and it forces me to be more creative and just think of ways of how can I do that, even though I don't have that big machine. But I'm trying to work towards that big machine. I really am. I'm really wanting to get that bigger machine, but I'll get there one day, I'm sure. Oh, and that's asking me, how's my new room coming? Okay, so let me give you a little update on that. Some of you may or may not know. So this is my craft room. It's a pretty small room. It's a 10 by 10 inch size, so 100 square feet. And it's kind of crowded in here because I do have a big wall of fabrics on one end. Well, actually, let me kind of backtrack. So this room used to belong to my daughter before she moved out and started her life. This room used to have her little bed here. She had a twin size bed with a drawer that comes out from the bottom. And the drawer had, you know, little wood planks on there. And so we decided to just take down her bed because I was going full blown into this is going to be my new craft room since you're not here anymore, right? And she lives maybe about half hour, 40 minutes away from me. So I went ahead and we started taking down the bed, and then I realized that when we purchased the bed, they built the bed inside the room. And so we were able to take down the bed, but that bottom trunk where you pull out the bottom drawer, we couldn't get it out of the room. So probably one of my very first videos that I did way back when I first started had the bed on the side, and you can kind of see that a little bit. But I was able to take out most of the bed, but we could not for the life of us get that drawer thing out, because it's kind of, you gotta angle it out to get it out into the hallway and stuff. So we couldn't get it out of the room. So I was like, what am I gonna do with this big drawer in a craft room? And then I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to use it to store my fabric. So what I ended up doing is I tilted it up, and it's on its side. And so I use it as a shelf to store my fabrics. And so I have it up on the side on my back wall here, and I've got all my fabrics there. So that's what I use it for. So I've got all my fabrics stored there, and then I've got like my printers, and I've got all my knitting and crocheting things here, my little centros and addy machines, and then I've got my embroidery machines and my threads and everything else. So the room has gotten pretty packed. Ever since I started doing this about, what, 2-3 years ago or so. So I'm kind of to the point where I need more space to be able to really do stuff. And so we have a room that was a 1-car garage. When we purchased the house, we purchased it from someone, and that garage they had turned into a room. So I think what we're doing now is I am clearing out that room, which is the 1-car garage, or now the new office. And I'm going to be switching over to that room, which is just a little bit bigger, and I'll be able to fit all my stuff, and maybe I can fit a new machine. Don't tell hubby.
I heard that.
I'm working towards it, guys. I'm working towards it. So yeah, so right now we were able to start clearing out the room, and so there's tons of stuff in there that people haven't touched in a while. And let me see, Amy says, yeah, I took over our daughter's room as well. No empty nest syndrome for me. Exactly. So she's having a blast. She's like not even thinking about her old room. She's got a little townhouse, and she's, into the decorating and the things. So she's all good on her end. So I thought, this is good opportunity for me to be able to kind of, get my real passion going. I've always loved to craft as a child, and my mom is a big time crocheter. Yes, Jenny, you won't tell hubby. Yes, please. He said he heard you. Yeah. He doesn't listen. He'll forget. Don't worry about it. He won't remember in an hour. So, so she's off doing her thing, and then I turned this room into the craft room, and she's seen it a bunch of times too. So yeah, that's the beauty of crafting. Exactly. We always see things as an opportunity, and we make something and adapt. So that's exactly what I had to do. So yeah, yeah, Kathy, it's only 10 by 10. Yes, that's a little room. Exactly. So these are why I purchased these specific types of tables. And I think I have a video on the tables as well. And these tables kind of expand. So these ends come up and they collapse as well. So this one is always expanded. I've never taken this one down. And then this one, I kind of expand and collapse as I do things. So like when I'm on, usually I will have it open because I have all my stuff lined up. I slide everything over and kind of bring things one at a time as I'm showing it to you guys. But other than that, I'll collapse it down just so the room doesn't look so small. You took over 2 rooms and a closet in another room. Oh God. Yeah, Sandra, it could really take over the house. I can tell you that. Definitely.
Yes, she can.
Yes, I can. And so I think it's just, like I said, crafting, it's been in my family for a long time. My mom is a big time crocheter. She's been crocheting like her whole life. She's 85 years old, and she's been sewing, and she's still doing a lot of crocheting. She used to work as a sewist, and she would do that early in her life, and then she just learned how to crochet because she said she was just sitting one day and she saw someone crocheting and she thought it was pretty cool, and she asked them about it, and then she just started watching other people crochet and she learned on her own. So she's not someone who learned like by the book and, you know, maybe does it the right way, maybe doesn't, but she's got some gorgeous things. She's done bedspreads, table runners. I mean, she's done it all. She's even done stuff for my wedding. So, I mean, she does beautiful work, and I'm going to share some of that with you guys because we've got a project we've been working on for over a year now, and it's just about ready. So as soon as that's done, I'll bring it over because she's making it for me. Yay. And so, yeah, do I knit as well? Yes. Now, I'm not as great as my mom is as a crocheter. I love to crochet, but I do also dabble a little bit on the knitting, and I've got my knitting machines that I love. So I'll make hats and scarves, and I've done videos on that as well. There's so many things you can do. Like, if you're not someone who knows how to knit, you can always get a knitting machine and get so much done so quickly. You'll be amazed. And maybe we'll do a little session and we'll do something with the knitting machine as well. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Because that, you know, it's pretty inexpensive and it's so quick to learn on that. And then, you know, it's a great way to know if you're interested in it. And then once you've done the knitting machine a couple times, if you think that you like it, then you can go ahead and start, you know, really learning how to knit. Let's see, maybe she could be on as a guest. Yes, well, I did a little video with my mom. She's a hoot. I'll tell you that. I did a little video with her at her house. Gosh, it's been a while since we've done that video, and I kind of showed a lot of her crocheted items on that video. So as you get older, you realize life is so short. I wish I had done things that I wanted to do. I kicked myself in the new year. Yeah, so that's why one of the first things that I did, this was early on, I interviewed my mom, you know, doing the crochet, and we showed a lot of her crochet items. So I do have a video on that, and I have a lot of the stuff here at home. So I'll try to dig some of that up. Maybe this week I'll show you some of her stuff that she has. But in the meantime, if you want to look it up, there's a video with my mom. I'm trying to remember what the name. I guess if you just look up crochet, you'll probably find her come up on my feed here. You took over the whole guest room, got a futon that was going to be put in there, but your sewing embroidery items take up a lot of space. Exactly. And, you know, and that's why these tables, you know, they really help a lot because I can collapse them. Because sometimes I feel overwhelmed when they're all open and there's just tons of stuff everywhere. So yeah, you can get a little overwhelmed with that. So collapsible stuff, things that are on wheels that I can move them around, like pretty much everything in here is on wheels with the exception of that fabric wall of mine. You just have a corner in your office and a corner in the living room and the kitchen table. Yeah, well, you know, you do what you have to do, right? Okay, let's see. And your embroidery room, your hubby is moving your daughter to the old room so you can finally have a room. Awesome. Well, that's gonna feel really great because, you know, sometimes I get in here and I close the door and it's like I just kind of want to escape to my own little place, right? So I think that feels great sometimes to just kind of get away from everyone and just kind of get things going. But yeah, it's really nice. And so, you know, I'm kind of now shifting and I'm trying to we're boxing everything up that's in that room and kind of taking it out. There's a lot of work that's got to get done. It's got a popcorn ceiling. That's how old that room is. So I do need to take the popcorn ceiling off. We've got to do some painting, cleaning. So it's going to be a while, and you know, we need some lighting. We need to make sure that it's very bright because we're going to try to film in that room as well. So lighting is a big concern. We need to make sure that we have the lighting kind of like somewhat what we have here, hopefully even better, just so that when we do the filming, it's nice and clear and you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So I'm hoping to set up like little stations, like an ironing station, a cutting station, a place where maybe my nice big machine will be, hint hint. And you know, all my other stuff. I've got a serger that I haven't really been able to really touch. It's kind of tucked over on the end. I did it a couple of times and I don't use it enough, and I want to really be able to get to all of my nice little gadgets here. So yeah, will you craft or sew live in your morning shows? Yes, I will. I definitely will. We did a couple of things. Is it Thursday? I think Friday we did a little bit of sewing, so we're definitely going to do a lot more of that. Just want to introduce you guys to me and kind of get, you know, you guys to know a little bit about me, and then but please feel free to use the form for the announcements or for anything that you want to see, because I can try to use that to get you guys the content out. Cindy says my hubby added on all the way across the back wall of the garage, saves us money as one wall was already built. Awesome. Yeah. So, you know, we're going to be creative. We're going to try to see if we can do that room and get that thing going, hopefully really soon. And then we'll be able to kind of move over to that room. So that'll be fun. So one thing I want to share with you guys, and maybe this is something for you guys who are crocheters, or maybe you're interested in learning how to crochet, there is a crochet along. It's by Sidar. It's called Summer Picnic, and let me show that to you here. It's called Summer Picnic Crochet Along. That's going to be starting on May the 7th. They've got free patterns and videos on how to show you how to do this, but this is what it looks like, and I thought it was pretty neat. They've got some really fun colors, and so I thought this was a nice one to kind of start off with. They had a Christmas one that was a lot of fun as well, but for the crocheters out there, I went ahead and just ordered this here. We grab this out of the way. This is kind of a little packing slip, and I'll show you what I received. And look at all these fun colors. I think it's so cool. They've got all summer colors, and it's pretty neat. They did put in, let's see what we've got here. Open this up. So when you order it, they give you this little bookmarker that has like the colors, little color chart for you there. They give you the label that you can put on to your project once it's done. And then these are to help you do the little pom-poms. So these are like little pom-pom makers. At first I thought, you know, you can just put like your extra thread here. So I might use it for that right after it's done. But these are the pom-pom makers. Yes, it's a very beginner-friendly crochet project. And so this one here gives you everything that you need to get started on it. And Sidar this is the name. You can see that. Sirdar. And it's kind of a little crochet along. It's just going to start on May the 7th. And you can go ahead and order the yarn, or you can use yarn from your stash. But the pattern is totally free, and the videos are free. So they show you how to do all of the things. So these are all the colors. Now this is some really nice DK yarn, very soft. It's 100% acrylic. And this is the color Tomato. And then we've got Clementine here. So they've got some really pretty colors. I'm going to just kind of lay them here. let me do it this way so you guys can see them as I'm taking them out. I'm going to move this over here. Lay them out this way. There we go. And I thought they're really pretty. This one here is called Lemon. We've got Lime. And then we've got Lagoon Blue. And grass. So we'll have some grass, I guess, right? This one's really pretty. This one is Hayfield. Okay. We've got another pinkish one here. This one is called... Oh, wait a minute. So sorry. This is just pink. This is not Hayfield. Hold on a second. I read the wrong line here. I'm sorry. This one's Cupid. And then we've got some white yarn in here. Couple more here. This one is called Ice Pink. And we've got a really pretty blue here. It's called Bluebell. So it gives you, this is all the yarn that you're going to need for that specific project. But again, if you have yarn, a little yarn stash, which I know I do, but I really wanted to have the colors that they are having on that little crochet along, so I went ahead and got this. But if you have the yarn stash, you can certainly use that. You don't necessarily have to purchase their yarn, or you can purchase the yarn from your own store nearby, right? Maybe you have a local shop that has the yarn, and just kind of try to match up the colors or change up the colors, right? So this one's, it's pretty neat, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I like to do all kinds of crochet projects, so I thought that was pretty cool. And it's going to be, you know, pretty interesting, kind of following along with them and making the little different pom-poms and things that they have. And this is how it's supposed to kind of come out. Is there a link for the kit? So if you go to Sidar, you'll find it. We'll go ahead. I'll put a link. I don't think I put the link in there, but I'll put a link for you guys right after. But this is what it looks like. It's got these little pom-poms here. It's got little oranges, and you know, I think it's really a fun summer project. Bluebell made you think of ice cream. Yeah, you know, it's got these really fun summer colors, and I think it's pretty neat. And it's got a strawberry here. I mean, there's some really easy stuff that when I just look at the picture itself, this is really beginner friendly. It looks like, you know, it's pretty simple going across. You've got a little bit of puff that you put in here to make the little strawberries going across. So it's going to be a lot of fun using these colors, and really kind of gets us in that summer mood. And then in the end, we're going to be making these pom-poms, which I thought was just so cute. And, you know, I think this would be a nice project if someone who's just starting or interested in crocheting, or maybe not sure. You know, I think this is a great way to start because it gives you everything that you need. I do have a couple of videos. I haven't been able to put out too many, but just little, really small clips on the really basic stuff on crocheting. Now, crocheting's a little funny because I'm left-handed, so it's kind of difficult for me to see things sometimes because a lot of the crocheters are right-handed, so everything I have to do is that mirror image or reversed. So I hold things a little bit awkward. You know, it's kind of a little bit different for me. My mom is right-handed, I'm left-handed, so it makes it difficult for me to be able to learn off of her sometimes, because when she goes like in like sonic speed, she crochets. I don't even think she looks. It's just, you know, motion memory on her, and she just goes off. And then for me, it's kind of hard. Sometimes I tried recording her and then I slowed it down to try to follow her, but it's really hard. And then she didn't really learn by a book or anything. So, you know, I may, you know, ask her about specific terms or specific type of method, and she is like, deer in the headlights, has no idea what I'm talking about, you know, because she just learned as she was learning, watching in other people. So she doesn't really know the terms and things like that. So I'm kind of the opposite. I'm working on a book, you know, I like to read about it. I follow that. And so, you know, it's just a little bit different the way we learn. So just wanted to give you a heads up on that. So I'm going to be working on that, and I'll kind of try to share my progress with you guys as we go along. And I'll put the link in the description so that if you guys are interested, you may want to try your hand at crocheting as well. Okay, so let's get going. I want to get to the last couple of segments that we have here. So let's go to the inspirational quote of the day. Okay, so our inspirational quote of the day is, "Don't wait for inspiration, just start stitching your way into it." So that kind of wraps up what we were talking about today. You know, you can be inspired in so many different ways, and just because you may not have the right tools, or you know, you can just make things up and make the tools that you need, right? You can use all kinds of different things to create that inspiration. You know, a lot of these tools and gadgets and machines, they're pretty pricey. And so, you know, sometimes we have to really kind of be on a budget. So it doesn't matter that you don't have that big machine just yet. You can find other ways to be inspired and make your creations. So I challenge you to go ahead and do that. Oh, thanks, B. Bridgman. I'm glad you love the quote. Yeah, I mean, we really have to kind of think out of the box. And, you know, that really, for me, comes a little bit more naturally than it does for other people. So like I've shared with you guys, I have a son who's on the autism spectrum. And so when he was very young, you know, we had to find different ways for him to learn, because he doesn't really learn the most traditional way. So we had to kind of be really creative on getting him interested in learning different things. And I think that's where my creativity really started to boost. And so, you know, we kind of do that on a daily basis now. So it just comes naturally for me to kind of just do things differently. And why not, right? Okay, so with that, let's go to our final segment, our comedy top 5. And I think you guys really enjoyed this. So let's go to our top 5 here. So you might be a sociopath if, number 5, you told your significant other you couldn't afford rent, yet you just placed an order for an Avenir. Uh-oh. I won't go that far, I promise. Number 4, you keep fabric in your oven because the pantry's full. Yeah, you know, so we have that fabric just all over the house, right? So keeping the oven, I wouldn't suggest it, but you know, it's a place, right? Okay, and you might be a sociopathic if you've hidden a fabric receipt inside a quilting magazine because your significant other won't look there. Well, I think that's an idea, right? There you go. All right, and number 2, you've labeled your kids' lunch boxes with heat and bond and applique letters. What's wrong with that, right? I mean, we have the supplies, don't we? We just gotta use them. Plus, I think it'll last longer. The markers kind of fade off. All right, and the number 1 reason we might be a sociopath if you have more photos of finished quilts than of your children. I don't know. I think my phone's been kind of, you know, packed with photos of that lately. You know, they're all grown up, so they don't like taking pictures anymore. So I guess the quilts kind of took over my phone as well. Okay, I hope you guys really enjoyed that segment and put a little giggle in your day for today, because it is Monday and we are back at it again. So that's about all I had for you guys today. I hope you guys really enjoyed it, and you know, Hopefully these segments are going to be part of your morning routine. I hope to put a little bit of giggle in your day and get you going and inspired to go ahead and get some crafting done. So thank you all for tuning in. Hope you have a wonderful day. We're going to head over to Becky's channel now because we've got to watch Power Tools with Thread. So let's get over there and get nice and settled. Thanks again for tuning in, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter-free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. Bye now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.